Yo guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Darren and today we'll be discussing the different kinds of air texture and porosity. Having a detailed information about your air composition, texture, density, porosity and all of those is one of the most important things to have in mind when starting or restarting your air journey. So today in this video I'm going to be telling you those things you need to know. But please, if at this point you've not liked or subscribed yet, please do so below. And oh yeah, thanks, I know you love. Let's just talk about air porosity. Air porosity refers to how your air absorbs or retains moisture based on how tight your corticals are to your air shaft. It is mostly attributed to genetics, but it can be affected by heat, chemicals and all of those. So there are three different types of air porosity. There is low porosity, medium porosity and high porosity. For air with low porosity, there is resistance to moisture penetration or release of moisture because of how tight your corticals are. What does this mean? This means that if you have air with low porosity, it is difficult for moisture to enter into your air and it's difficult for it to leave. But it is not difficult to retain moisture. Think of it like this. It traps or blocks moisture in the sense that it blocks moisture by not letting it enter. It's difficult for moisture to actually enter into your air, which causes buildup of products in your air and all of those. We'll be talking about those later. And once it finally gets a way to enter, it's difficult for it to leave. So it traps it, thereby retaining moisture. But for those with high porosity air, on the other hand, it is very easy for it to absorb or release moisture because of how open or loose your corticals are. But it is difficult to retain moisture. So moisture enters and leaves freely, but it cannot retain moisture because it's porous. Anyways, medium porosity is the ideal type. So there are some things you need to know if you have low porosity or high porosity air. For those with low porosity air, it is advisable to use less of protein-based products. You could use them, but not regularly. Like regularly, but not as often as someone with high porosity air would do. And if you use more of liquid-based products, your moisturizers, obviously you should have liquid, but other products should be more of liquid. You should use lighter products. Density and strand size. Density refers to how close your strands are to each other. It is the number of individual air strands that can be found on your air. Now you have thick density when you have more number of strands than an average person. You have thin density when you have lesser number of strands than an average person. And you have medium density when you're the average person. So you should note that your air can either be full from its density or its strand size. These are different. Now strand size refers to the width of an individual air strand, just one. Can either be coarse, fine or thick. Now as seen in pictures, they're different, obviously different, and it's quite explanatory, so I'm not really going to go into that. So you should also know that your air can be thick density and fine hair, or thin density and coarse hair. It can actually be thick density and coarse hair and thin density and fine hair. It can go in any ways. And you should also know that your hair can have both fine and coarse hair. For example, I have more of fine hair around my hairline, and I have coarse hair in other areas. With high porosity, you would want to use more of oils and butters. You want to use sealants, and you can use protein-based products. I'm not saying every day, but more than someone that has low porosity air. So yeah, how do you determine what level of porosity you're in? There's this common float test method, which just requires a strand of air, and it's quite simple as you can see. But there's been so many reviews that it's quite unreliable because so many people get the same results, not because they have the same air porosity type, but because it's is almost expected for a strand of air to float in water, because the air produces an oil called sebum, and normally oils float in water. So you see, even with a strand of air, the oil kind of like coats the air, so it makes it float. Anyways, the last thing I'll be talking about is call pattern. Well, this is kind of straightforward. For most black women, if not all, we belong to the 4 type air. As you can see, the first, second, third, fourth. So you see, first, second is straight and wavy respectively. The type 3 air is curly, then type 4 is coily. So as a black woman or a black queen that you are, your hair is coily and not curly. You don't want to make that mistake. Anyways, so that's all you need to know about your hair type, density, and all of those. But of course, if you want more information, you could research on yourself. So based on that, I have a low porosity, high density course for CA. What is yours? I would like to know yours in the comment section below. Please, if you know this video helped you a bit or more, please just tell me, and like and share and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Ta-da!